In other news, witnesses say at least 40 people have been killed and dozens more injured after Myanmar's military bombed a candlelight vigil. Amnesty International has called the attack a gruesome reminder that civilians there need urgent protection. Locals say there were multiple strikes on a village in Myanmar's Chaung-U township, where locals had gathered for a Buddhist festival and to protest the ruling military junta's policies, as well as demand the release of political prisoners. Journalist Tommy Walker is standing by with more now from Bangkok. What more do we know about the attack on Monday?
Yes, well, I mean, it's just another example of the military, the Myanmar military, conducting a form of an airstrike on to Myanmar's population. They will likely say that it's to target what they call terrorists, but in reality, this incident has had, many people gathering, including children, for this festival of light. And this air attack, believed to be in the form of a paramotor, has injured, there's at least 40 people, children have been killed, them numbers may rise. But again, it's just another sign of what's going on in Myanmar. There's been conflict since that military coup since February 2021. So it's another airstrike by the military, which we've seen many in the past 4.5 years.
And Tommy, this is not a singular event. Talk with us through the deep crisis in Myanmar.
Absolutely, and just touching on airstrikes, I mean, I looked into this a few years ago. Since the end of around 2022, Myanmar's military had a shift and they were increasing airstrikes on what they believe were sort of opposition rebel targets within this conflict. We've seen devastating airstrikes throughout the country, in particular the Saigon region, which is a particular hotspot for this conflict. It's been 4.5 years, as mentioned, since the coup. We've got an array of ethnic minority groups, opposition groups, People's Defense Forces fighting the military soldiers on the ground. However, the military do have the advantage, and that comes from the air, whether it's fighter jets, helicopters, and now what we've learned this past week, paramotors and paragliders. So airstrikes are particularly vulnerable for the Myanmar population.
And with elections set for December and rejected by the opposition, how is the junta trying to retake ground ahead of the vote?
Well, that's right. I mean, the Myanmar military have announced these elections set to begin in December. They are desperately trying to retake any lost territory within the last 4.5 years. Because of this election, the Myanmar military is said to control territory-wise less than 25% of Myanmar. So it's desperately trying to get back territory so it can acquire potentially more votes. However, opposition, anyone who's fighting against the military, have denounced these so-called elections. Critics have said that they're going to be a sham, but that is the aim right now. The Myanmar military is trying to retake as much land as possible ahead of these elections.
Journalist Tommy Walker in Bangkok with the latest on the situation in Myanmar. Thank you.
Thank you.